Hi there, and we're live. I'm gonna with the daily reading. I'm gonna continue on reading from Stuart Wild's great book called Infinite Self: 33 Steps to Reclaiming Your Inner Power. And I'm gonna read from page 47, step number 4. And I think you're gonna really like this topic. And it's called "The Courage to Accept Spirit as Your Inner Guide." And I hope you gain value out of this and benefit from it. Step 4, the courage to accept spirit as your inner guide, is closely linked to step 3, the courage to go beyond. The first concept deals with releasing, entering free flow, and becoming vulnerable. This one deals with moving effortlessly from intellect and logic to feelings and spiritual guidance from within. The process is not so difficult. When you have to make a decision rather than make it intellectually, shall I, shan't I, will I, won't I, mentally churning through your options, try to rely only on your subtle feelings. Open your heart to what Spirit is telling you. In any given situation, it doesn't matter so much what is logical. What matters most is asking what feels right. Once you have decided what feels right, move down the path gingerly. Watch for any inconsistencies and problems, and adjust your actions accordingly. If an idea is right, it will be empowered by your infinite self, projecting energy outwards, and things will flow. If it isn't right, you may have to adapt a little or make a slight turn. But if that doesn't work and nothing flows, take it as a sign that the idea is wrong, that you do not have enough energy to pull it off, or that the time isn't right. Timing is key, timing is everything. In passing, let me just talk to you about differences between endurance and stupidity. When going for goals, you need strong intention and endurance. You have to take concerted action, concentrating upon your goal and putting enough effort in for a long enough time so that your goal is achieved. But when faced with the big rock on the path, this should not be part of a high intention and good endurance. Whack your head against it endlessly. Sometimes you'll find a way around the rock, and sometimes you can't. If that happens, retreat as another way, or bag that particular route. Maybe even bag the goal. If getting past the obstacle requires too much energy and struggle, you might have to reevaluate. You have to think of yourself as a bank account of energy. How much are you going to pay out? What is your return on effort? Sometimes you'll see the potential upside in a particular situation is very limited, and the possible downside might include defeat, ruin, ill health, loss of valued friendship, or suffering in some other kind. So don't be obstinate when faced with obstacles. Work your way around them or wait patiently. Sometimes the obstacle disappears or melts away in time. Use your brain and not your skull. There's no heroism in whacking things with it. Trust your feelings. Ask and watch the signs all around you. You'll know how to hard to try when it's right to push a little harder and when it's best to pull back. It's in the constant asking of questions that you logically don't know the answer to your empowerment and inner guidance. If you follow along correctly, avoiding the ego's protest as much as possible, you soon find out that your inner guidance is always right. Gradually develop enough confidence in the prompting of spirit to allow it to become your only guide in life. Practice constantly. Let's say you want to phone a friend. Is she at home or not? Visualize your friend and push your feelings out in the direction searching for her. Can you feel her present at that location? Can you feel her soul or character? Feeling saying at the beginning, it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. All that matters is that you get used to bypassing the intellect and the accepted view that says that you're possibly find friends by just looking for them. But going against the common logic, you're in effect asking permission to access a deeper, higher awareness. Your infinite self is linked to that of the friend you're trying to call. It knows if your friend is on home or not. Asking it, answering questions, you empower it. You become more courageous. Lack of awareness has its roots in childhood. We require children to endure the TikTok influence of the educational system, a system whose only reality is based in ego, personality, status, and logic. By the age of 7 or 8, the inner knowing, which is gifted to you naturally when you're born, is usually squashed out of the child. We are trained to ignore the easy way of knowing things, our interconnection with all things, and replace it with laborious method of learning. By rote intellect and mind numbing conformity and logic. You need facts and figures as part of your education, but that should not become a high altar to the intellect upon which you sacrifice to the subtle nature of your all knowing. In order to win acceptance from others and from our school teachers, we tend to conform and we become averse to risk. Gradually, our metaphysical knowledge is lost, and in eating the apple of logic from the tree of TikTok, we fall from the heaven and lose our angelic nature. We've banished from the Garden of Eden as much harder existence with only the knowledge of the ego to guide us. Eventually, we learn to completely ignore what the spirit within is saying. The person has made up its mind, and we follow along like good little drones. Typically, your inner guidance says turn left, and you ignore it. Suddenly, there's a herd of buffaloes. We resist. I suppose it's partly fear and partly because the personality and the ego therein cannot bear to accept that there's a power within you that is more important, more knowledgeable than itself. However, when you think of it, all intellectual reasoning is most guesswork, talking information from past performance. One tries guessing what, of course, actions might be best for the future. As you begin to trust your inner guidance, call it the infinite self, a spirit guide, Christ, Swami, whatever you fancy his name. You start to trust it leads you graciously, step by step. It will take you into the next person, next place. The highest spot it knows. How does it know? Because it is everywhere and everything is a feeling, so it's all knowing. As you concentrate and begin to rely upon it, it becomes stronger. A door opens inside of you. Click. In fact, it's only your personality that's frightened. The real you is eternal and immortal. It cannot be frightened or sick or confused. It lives in a perfect dimension of exquisite beauty. So if you have a fear of letting go, start getting a grip on your personality by talking to it and helping it through the experience. Talk to it like you would. Affirm these different things. Say, but I'm eternal, I'm abundant, I'm infinite. I know there's something better up ahead of because my infinite self can feel it. So don't worry. We'll just be fine. Again, positive affirmations, positive self talk, and visualization. The sacred and holy journey, the journey away from the ego toward the infinite self, is a journey through a fog. You're only going to be able to see a few steps in front of you. If you can see down the past 6 months, a year, 5 years, 20 years, here's my retirement, here's my destiny. You're deeply in the clutch of the games of TikTok, a prisoner in the world of the ego that's set up safe, boring rhythms, comfortable. So it leans toward the mind numbing. You'll know if you're growing and moving toward the infinite self by the fact that you have more choices. Things will be less definite. You won't see so far in the future. Your time horizon shortens and life becomes more immediate. All you ever know is, hey, I feel fine right now. So trust it's important. Next time you have a free evening, okay, spend the evening. Well, it's important that your ego loses grip and loses out of the control. So the courage of accepting spirit as your guide does not require great fortitude. It's just being courageous enough to step away from the handrail of life, which delineates the mindset of the TikTok, and walk a little way into the unknown. Personally, I find the unknown interesting. You meet people and travel to different places, deals and opportunities pop up. You come to expect the unexpected. Here are a couple other things to remember to get your inner guidance working a bit better for you. First, to get the ego back off, you have to shove against its comfort zones. So pick things that are uncomfortable and do them so you can break through your comfort zones. Each week, devise one thing that you'll use to challenge yourself, to push the envelope of your resistance. Make that your greater strengthening. Second, discipline yourself to remain mentally in the now, be in the present, here and now. Don't allow the mind to daydream. Don't worry about the future. Sure, you can make plans for future things. Stay centered in the eternal present, working on trusting and exercising the muscle of your perception. It grows quickly. That includes the reading from Infinite Self, 33 Steps to Reclaiming Your Inner Power by the author Stuart Wilde. Thanks for listening, and see you next time. Bye for now.